So to make the Dutch apple cake, you will need 100 grams of self-raising flour, 100 grams of caster sugar, 100 grams of butter, 5 mils of cinnamon, 5 mils of demerara sugar, 1 apple, 2 eggs, and 5 mils of baking powder. I have now preheated my oven to 180 degrees centigrade or gas mark 4, and I have also greased my baking tin for the Dutch apple cake. You could use foil containers if you wanted to. I have whisked together the margarine and the sugar until it's light and fluffy using an electric mixer. If you wanted to, you could use a wooden spoon instead. I have also prepared my egg by whisking it with a fork in a small measuring jug. I have now added the egg and continue to use the electric mixer to mix the two together. I have my flour ready to fold in using a metal spoon, folding it in bit by bit to make sure that the air that's been incorporated into the initial mixture doesn't lose any of the air that's in it. I have now spread my mixture into the baking tin, and I have my apple and sharp knife ready to prepare it using the claw and the bridge grip. I have now put the apple on top of the cake mixture. Note, I've pointed it down so the red colourful bits of the apple skin are at the top, and I have sprinkled the top with cinnamon and the demerara sugar. We are now ready to put the cake into the oven. Take care and make sure you use an oven mitt. And now for the washing up while the cake is in the oven. And here we have the finished cake. It was in the oven for about 20 minutes. It's come out, it's golden, it's risen, and I've tested it with a skewer. Now to enjoy it. So this morning we are going to be making mini fruit cakes. You will need self-raising flour, 100 grams, caster sugar, 100 grams, butter or margarine, 100 grams, dried fruit, or maybe dried apricots, 50 grams, and 2 eggs. For the equipment, you will need a cupcase tin, some paper cases, a sieve, scales, a wooden spoon, a mixing bowl, 2 metal spoons, and I'm also adding a whisk because I like to whisk the egg before I add it. You will need to set your oven to 200 degrees Celsius, that's gas mark 6. It's always best to preheat the oven before you do any baking. I'm now ready to assemble my ingredients. I've sieved the flour into the mixing bowl. That helps to aerate it. I have melted my margarine on a very, very low frequency in the microwave because it was too hard because it came straight out of the fridge. I've got the sugar ready. I've whisked my eggs. I always whisk my eggs before I add them to a cake. Just make sure that the white and the yolk are totally separate. And I have the dried fruit ready to stir in later. I have now mixed together the ingredients with a wooden spoon. The mixture is nice and smooth. There's no lumps of flour, there's no lumps of butter. It looks, I think, quite yummy. I'm now going to add the sultanas. I'm going to mix those in, and then I'm ready for the paper cases. I'm now going to divide the mixture using 2 metal spoons into my cake cases. I like to use 2 metal spoons rather than using the wooden spoon because I find it gives you a more precise fill of the cupcake cases. My cakes are now ready to go into the oven for approximately 20 minutes until they're all golden. Make sure that you use an oven mitt so you don't get burnt by putting the cakes in the oven. I've now taken the cakes out of the oven. I tested them with a skewer, but you can also test them by just pressing them with your finger, and if they bounce back, they will be done. I'm now going to transfer them to a cooling rack to enable them to cool down. You can then choose whatever decoration you want to use.